king size, made in France. It looks soft enough to alleviate all our exhaustion. Zach, even though the Bureau is paying for this, it's still tiring to have to live out of hotel rooms day after day. Nothing beats getting a good night's sleep in your own room.
My restaurant serves only the highest quality Creole cuisine, the real deal, which ain't too easy to find in a backwoods town like this.
Did I hear wrong then? Set me straight, would you, Chef? I thought that Cajun food was the norm in Acadiana. Why would you go out of your way to serve Creole food here?
When I was a youngin', I trained myself at a famous restaurant in New Orleans.
A famous restaurant? That's incredible. Was it Arnaud's? Antoine's? No, don't tell me, I got it. Brrraaains, right?
None of those, actually. But that place taught me how to really cook. Go on and try something, you'll see.
Very intriguing. That food was unbelievable. I see you weren't lying about undergoing training at that famous restaurant.
Now you just trying to embarrass me, mister. I still appreciate it, though.
And you must have undergone some rigorous training in order to gain such refined technique. You put so much care into preparing everything just right. And your manipulation of that low-temp flame in order to bring out such a pleasant fragrance, simply perfect. This is true Creole food. You have to tell me now, which famous restaurant did you train yourself at? Come on, Chef, we need to know. Zach and I are begging you.
You drive a hard bargain, mister. All right, I reckon I can give you a hint.
Really?
Oh, just a hint now.
Fine, we'll take it. Just say it.
It's the restaurant that serves the most famous fried chicken in all of Louisiana. Crispy, crunchy. You know what I'm talking about? Bonafide fried chicken.
No, you can't mean...
Oh, yeah.
I'll bet they worked you pretty hard.
Mm-hmm, you betcha.
So that's how you acquire the mental fortitude necessary to cook such amazing food.
Oh, my time there taught me just how tough city life really is.
Amazing. Zach, did you hear all that? That's an incredible story, David. You really are a true chef. Both Zach and I have given you our official approval.
We always strive to provide our guests with the finest of service, sir. Our humble, bucolic town does have its inconveniences. Shopping, in particular, can be a bit of a slog. Therefore, we decided to provide a modest selection of daily necessities right here at our very own front desk.
Great. Sounds convenient.
Exactly. Serving you is my greatest pleasure, sir. Please do let me know if there is any other way for me to assist you.
Whether it's a restaurant or a hotel, the key to charming your customers is how you present your bathroom. I'm sure you feel the same way, don't you, Zach? Now this is the kind of bathroom a person can really get excited about. It might even trump the one we saw in that drug dealer's house in Austin. Remember? The art piece on display in there utilized the natural curves of human ribs in such a novel way. It was truly brilliant. Zach, it looks like we were right on the money. Tracing the Sang Rouge distribution route led us right to Louisiana. You know what that means. Sorry for the wait, Patty.
Whatever.
Is Mrs. Carpenter here?
No, she hasn't come in today.
Everything's going according to plan. It's time to knock down the 10 maidens, Zach.
Oh, my Lord, y'all are back? Listen up, y'all ain't gonna believe this.
What's wrong?
Mrs. Carpenter hasn't come in. For the first time in 10 years, what could it be? I just hoping nothing bad happened to her.
She's fine. You have my guarantee.
Oh, my Lord. I reckon if an FBI agent like you is convinced, then I should be too.
What did I tell you, Patty? Value is a relative thing. We needed to find that figurine, no matter the cost.
You really wanted to bowl that bad? They don't have bowling alleys in the city no more?
Wrong, Patty. I have absolutely no interest in bowling. Tossing a heavy ball at lined-up pins? Where's the fun in that? You can't even call this a sport. It's a game for cavemen. Nonsense. Utter nonsense.
Then can I throw the ball instead?
Absolutely not, Patty. This is part of the investigation. I need to do this myself, no matter how stupid it may be.
You're the one who's stupid. Sure looks like you're having fun to me.
Oh, looks like I finally earned myself a rival.
That was just a stroke of luck, Mrs. Carpenter. Despite how I may seem, I've never been any good at any of the ball-based sports that exist here on our planet.
Oh, no, you can't fool me. I can tell the FBI's giving you very special training. If I gave you a few lessons on top of that, I'm sure you'd be able to go semi-pro.
Semi-pro?
That's right. That's what I said.
Not pro, but semi-pro.
Yes, semi-pro. You'd never be able to go pro. You don't have what it takes. You could become a semi-pro if you tried really hard, though. Well, I guarantee it. Come back and see me when you feel like giving it a try. I'm sure my husband would forgive me if I let someone like you borrow my lane. Well, we gotta give youngsters a chance to grow. That's what we always say.
I could actually go semi-pro?
I'd take her words with a grain of salt if I were you.
Patricia, I can understand why you'd be envious of my talents, but you don't need to worry. You have your own unique talents, just like any other person. You shouldn't have to feel inferior every time you look at me.
You're unbelievable. You sure you don't need to get your head checked out?
It's so strange, Zach. I feel like I'm discovering a new side to myself.
By the way, Mr. Special Agent, you said you're investigating the Lise Clarkson incident, yes? In that case, there's something you should know. That poor girl, Lise, she was a druggie, and she was into the really bad stuff.
Red powder.
Oh, no wonder the FBI picked you. You already figured out that much. Well, the reason Lise turned into such a little hoodlum is because of her mother, Galena.
Galena?
Mm-hmm. A mother only in name. Oh, as far as I'm concerned, she's still nothing more than a child herself. Oh, dressing up in fancy clothes, always out on the town somewhere. Children giving birth to children. If these aren't the end times, well, I don't know what is. Oh, and they were always cooped up in that jazz bar. Galena wouldn't know proper parenting if it hit her in the tush.
Zach, the jazz bar. We first heard about it from Patricia. It must be deeply connected with this case. And the red powder. It must be Saint Rouge. Following the oracle and felling the 10 maidens sure paid off, didn't it?
So, Mr. Special Agent, are you all finished here?
Yes, Mrs. Carpenter. Thanks to you, I've gotten a new lead.
Oh, then how about you mosey on and let me get back to my bowling? I need to bowl my first game of the day or else I'm gonna get rusty. Well, what are you waiting for? Get a move on! Shoo, shoo!
Wah, 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 wah.
When the sun awakens, catch the tip of the baby bear's tail at the Force Altar. And the entrance to the other world will reveal itself to you.
Zach, it's another oracle. It appears that we're being guided by a mysterious power. This oracle is a simple one. The false altar. You already know what this is, right? The place where Lise Clarkson's body was first discovered. She was found under a bridge at some sort of altar as if she was being worshipped. That's what Chef David said, right? When the sun awakens refers to dawn, of course, and the tip of the baby bear's tail is the North Star. At dawn, look straight to the north from where Lisa's body was found. On the surface, this oracle may seem tricky and convoluted, but it's still mere child's play. Pathetic. Zach, let's follow the oracle and head to where Lisa's body was found. I don't know what other world refers to, but I'm sure we'll find out once we get there.
Oracle?
That's right, Patty. This case is a rather complicated one, so Zach and I are following oracles given to us by a skeletal gentleman in order to crack it.
This is Lucare Tiger. Do you read me? Over. Lucare Tiger to DC Eagle. Do you copy?
It's Daddy. Hurry up and answer.
This is DC Eagle. I read you loud and clear. Over.
Oh, good. Mr. York. I'm sure glad you picked up.
There's no point in using code names if he's just going to say my real name.
Mr. York, can you hear me? Hey, Mr. York. Oh, right. Over.
DC Eagle to Lucare Tiger. Is something wrong? Over.
Mr. York, I got something I need to tell you ASAP. Just sit tight and listen, okay? Over.
Roger Wilco. Go right ahead. Over.
I just happened to overhear some of the Clarksons talking on another channel. Apparently, Lisa's mother's been missing since early this morning. I reckon it might be related to the case, so I wanted to let you in on it right away. Oh, over.
Lisa's mother. You're referring to Galena, the social butterfly? Over.
Another special agent slam dunk. So, you already did a little research on her, huh? That's right. The one who's gone missing is the younger of the Clarkson sisters, and our town's queen of the night. No one can slip one past me, because I'm the ultimate FBI agent, Francis York Morgan. My proverbial hat goes off to your investigative skills, sir. Anywho, Galena used to be an actress, and she's also real pretty in the face. Draws attention wherever she goes. If you happen to spot her while you're investigating, would you let me know? Oh yeah, over. Wait. Hey, Mr. York, what do you say we cut this out, huh? Over this, over that. It all seems kind of overblown, don't you think? Besides, I reckon we're the only ones listening to this. No need to be so stiff, right?
Yes, Melvin, I agree. There's no need for us to cling to formalities.
Glad to hear it. I ain't never been too good with formalities, you feel me? Well, Mr. York, if I hear any more news, I'll be sure to let you know. Good luck out there.
Daddy's such a goofball.
Patty, do you think Galena is really as beautiful as people say?
I don't know, I guess. Men just seem to like women like her for some reason.
Who's more beautiful, Galena or your mother?
What?
Candy Woods, your mother. Melvin said she was the prettiest girl in town.
How should I know? That's a stupid question.
Why is it stupid?
My mom is sick.
Zach, that was a bad move. We stepped right into a private matter without any shoes on. But these things are bound to happen. After all, I'm a special agent of the FBI. And there isn't an organization out there that's more well-versed in the art of infringing on people's privacy. Zach, you're a coffee person, right? No sugar, only milk. Yes, I'm completely with you on that one. talking about him. Who, then? Is the skeletal gentleman friend or foe? Or does he merely exist outside the realms of ether? Still too early to tell. But it's clear that he was the key to uncovering this case's mysteries. That's what my soul tells me.
Mihalama. Verily.
Where's the thing I just bought?
All awaits thee at the altar. Altars exist, whether thy needs exist. The bedchamber of thy hostelry doth possess one therewith.
So where's my thing?
All altars lead to the other realm. Thusly, all periapts in thy possession may be confirmed at any altar.
The other realm?
Forsooth, any mirror may metamorphose into an entrance to the other realm. Prithee, say thou doth grasp this wisdom.
You can see the same world as the skeletal gentleman?
I am the mirror. As my name doth suggest, I am the looking-glass given flesh.
Zach, it appears that there's still a lot about this world that we don't understand. This is the Deep South. There's no telling what might happen next. molten hot sun pours down on you. Don't you, Zach? So, what do you think of him? Yes, I'm talking about him. Boondock, is the skeletal gentleman friend or foe? Or does he merely exist outside the realms of evil? Still too early to tell, but it's clear that he'll be the key to uncovering this case's mysteries. That's what my soul tells me. And who might you be?
I'm Raven, but around here they call me the Speed Witch. You're here investigating the lease case, yeah? And instead of a car, you're using a skateboard? For real? You've already become the talk of the town, you know? Anyway, I was just wondering if you needed any help. What's your name?
I'm FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan. Please, call me York.
Okay, Yorkie it is! I'm actually testing out a new kind of business right now. And I was hoping you'd be down to try it out, Yorkie.
What kind of business are we talking about here?
I drive my customers to wherever they want to go, and once we get there, they pay me. Now that I think about it, I reckon it ain't much different from a taxi.
Seems a bit strange to call it a new type of business, then.
Only 'cause you haven't heard the details yet. Here, let me explain. I got a feeling that in the future, cell phones are gonna get more advanced. And people are gonna be able to just order taxis from their phones whenever they need to get somewhere. So I'm thinking, hey, why don't I just start a company that instantly sends out drivers to take folks from point A to point B?
How?
I want to make it so that anyone out there can just register on my site as a driver. I'm talking normal people, not pros. Then once we get a request, we'll just send out the driver who's closest to the customer. It'll be a hell of a lot more convenient than public transportation and faster than any normal taxi company. I'm positive it'll be a big hit. And I'm gonna call it Wyvern. The logo will be a Y and a V. Cool, yeah?
Is that legal?
Beats me. But if I hire them all as independent contractors, I reckon it'll work out. See, that means each driver and customer will be bound by their own private agreements. My company will just provide them with a platform to hook up. Squeaky clean, right? Now, here comes the fun part. I want to help you get around while you're in our town, Yorkie. For a fee, of course. Keep an eye out for my balloons. Whenever you see one in town, give me a whistle and I'll be there.
Why not invite me to use your site, then? Why are you out here driving around?
I'm still experimenting with this business model. My site isn't open yet, and I'm still trying to figure out what sort of fees will work best. So I decided to go find myself a customer to get a feel for how things will really go. Well, wanna ride?
Zach, that was quite the spiel, wasn't it? This seems like little more than a scheme to make some pocket change from carpooling. And what's new about that? Although it will be a bit hard for us to keep investigating here for days with nothing but a skateboard. What do you think? Should we accept her offer?
If you don't want to ride with me, I ain't gonna force you to. But if you ever change your mind, just give me a call. I'm always ready to get out on the open road.
Sure thing.
Wyvern, the new cutting-edge transportation service. We'll come to you, wherever you are. Bye now.
Hey, bellboy, what's this balloon doing here?
Oh, hey there, boss. That balloon belongs to the transportation service.
The transportation service. Zach, we haven't seen a single taxi since we got to this town, have we?
Well, of course not. You won't find a single limo or taxi driving around this town.
What does the balloon call, then?
That'd be Wyvern.
Wyvern? That pushy entrepreneur?
Right on the money, boss.
Why are you helping her out?
Me? Oh, I'm just in it for the kickback, Bob.
So calling her from here costs more than calling her from somewhere else?
Exactamundo. Although there are certain places that you can only get to from here.
I see. Zach, it looks like we've run into yet another unique rural custom.
Howdy, Yorkie. That's what I'm talking about. Come on, get in. Thanks for calling me, Wyvern. Goodbye now.
Very good. Please, come. Please don't...
Would you mind if I...
By all means, please ask me whatever you like, sir.
Do you run this entire hotel all on your own? I mean, just the three of you?
Yes, that is correct, sir.
So you, or the three of you, own the entire place?
Oh, heavens no, sir. The chef, the bellboy, and myself are all mere employees of this fine hotel.
So the Clarksons own this place, too?
Not quite, sir. This hotel opened its doors long before the Clarksons came to prominence.
Impressive. No wonder this building has such a dignified air to it.
Indeed. This is probably the only building in all of Lucare that has managed to retain its original appearance.
So who's the owner? I simply must know the name of the person who had the fortune and sense to come into possession of such a fine building.
The owner of this hotel is none other than David Jawara, sir.
Zach, that's the fourth David. It all makes sense now. It'd be stranger if only the owner was a completely different person. I sincerely hope I get a chance to meet him during my stay here.
If I may, Mr. Morgan, sir, I don't think that's such a good idea.
Why not?
Unfortunately, our owner has a bit of a personality problem. The three of us here describe him as having a fractured mind.
What a strange feeling. It looks like there are spots to place other items as well. If we find anything that seems like it might fit, let's bring it back here. After all, what do we have to lose? What, you think that sounds like a pain in the neck? Come on now, Zach. Surely you know that all rituals work this way. Blessings from beyond will only come to those who exhibit the finest level of courtesy and reverence. In short, they're reflections of the self. Only with a mind deep in the dirt will you know true tranquility. Then your body will turn to dust and dance with the wind. Who came up with that quote? That one was all me, Zach.
And that's what I'm talking about. You can't get fine eating like this at any of those diners out there, so make sure you enjoy it. Thanks, mister. Next time you get a hankering for old-time Creole...
Mr. Morgan, sir, how may I be of service? Mr. Morgan.
What? You need a ride? Okay, I'll call her in a jiffy. Why, Vern?
Howdy, Yorkie. That's what come on. Thanks for calling me. Why the goodbye.
The streets in New Orleans were a mess, all busted up and undergoing maintenance. The city was built on a swamp, so the ground is soft. All it takes is some heavy rain to cave it all in. There were also a lot of places where large tree roots were. Did you notice again? The streets in New Orleans were a mess, all busted up and undergoing maintenance. The city was built on a swamp, so the ground is soft. All it takes is some heavy rain to cave it all in. There were also a lot of places where large tree roots were pushing up parts of the asphalt and the sidewalk. Those bumps were dangerous even when we still had our car, remember? But this town is different. The streets are all paved so cleanly that we can skate along them without a care in the world. And there's hardly any trash or graffiti to be found anywhere. The Clarksons... Looks like a case of bad time. Let's come back later. Zach, how about we grab a bite to eat? Mr. Alligator, not sure how much help you'll be in this situation, but I guess you're better than nothing. What the... Zach, I don't even need to say it, do I? This is right out of that movie. Videodrome, 1982, directed by David Cronenberg. At the time, it was seen as a hard movie to digest for normal moviegoers, but now it's become a cult classic. I always just saw it as another weird Canadian movie, but this changes everything. My arm and my gun have become one. Now I can really understand what Max was going through. like a case of bad. Let's come back.
This is how it has to be.
Why did the perpetrator decide to enshrine Lisa's body here? Remember this, Zach? Stone skipping. We did it all the time when we were kids. For some reason, I could never beat you. But I feel like I've got what it takes to win now. What do you say? Shall we take a trip down memory lane? Not bad, Zach. That was just as fun as when we were kids. Hey, what's that? No wonder the word Mississippi means father of waters. It has the power to carry boats down the tiniest of tributaries. It's one of the prime symbols of America's majesty and the vitality of the human race. Now about that boat. What sort of cargo would give it such a deep draft? What else do you see, Zach? I saw it clearly, if only for a second. The dragonfly crest. This town never wants to stop reminding us about the Clarksons. Hey, Zach. Do you remember the oracle? When the sun awakens, catch the tip of the baby bear's tail at the false altar, and the entrance to the other world will reveal itself to you. In other words, we need to go to where Lise was found and look north at dawn. I wonder what we'll see. It's a skull, Zack. As clear as day. That's the spot. The barrier between our world and the other world. One might call it a singularity. Now, what do you say we go inspect that cabin?
Why did you leave me behind? You're not supposed to investigate without me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Patty. You just missed a special moment.
What moment? The sugarcane plantation? So what?
You can't see it?
All I see is the Clarkson's plantation and that gross silo.
There you have it, Zack. Patty, Zack and I will take it from here. In the meantime, you need to head home and wait for us.
Wait at home? Alone?
Yes, but only for a while. Once I make some progress, I'll contact you again.
Hey, hold on!
Also, would you mind telling Melvin that I'm heading to the sugarcane plantation? I'm sure we'll need his help later.
Whoa, Agent York! Wait! You're really gonna leave a little girl like me here all alone? Act like an adult for once in your life. I promised to protect you from all the evil in our world. You promised! Protect me!
You'll be fine. You made it this far alone, didn't you? Zack, you're a coffee person, right? No sugar, only milk. Did you notice it yet? The streets in the... Look, Zack. We're about to encounter a new character.
Oh, damn it. I know I saw her go inside. But it's empty. The hell's going on here?
You won't be able to find the other world.
What the... Who in the hell are you? What are you doing on our plantation?
I'd like to ask you the same.
Well, Hey, shut up. This ain't got nothing to do with you.
I see. Well, if you don't want to tell me, then I have no choice but to guess. You just said this is our plantation. I assume that means you're a member of the Clarkson family, and you're here looking for someone. If there's a search being conducted on Clarkson property, it must be a search for Galena Clarkson, who's gone missing. Judging from the way you speak, your age, and most of all the color of your eyes, you must be Danny Clarkson, the father of the victim, Galena's husband, and the manager of the cold storage warehouse. Nice to meet you. I'm FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan. I'm here investigating the Lise Clarkson case. Oh, and just call me York. That's what everyone's always called me.
You think I give a shit? You better watch your mouth or I'm liable to whoop your goddamn ass.
Your daughter was taken from you, and now your wife has gone missing. No words can describe what you're going through. I imagine you're doing everything you can, searching every last nook and cranny all over town. But, Danny, listen to me. It won't get you anywhere. No matter how hard you search, you'll never find them.
The fuck is with you? You want to throw down with a Clarkson?
Absolutely not. I simply wish to solve this case.
Then hurry up and investigate, goddammit.
I am. That's why I'm here. The Oracle told me there's something in this spot.
Oracle?
That's right. Zach and I are following oracles given to us by a skeletal gentleman. If you wish to find the person who killed your daughter, you should cooperate. I imagine that not even the Clarksons want to start a feud with a federal power.
I've had enough of your bullshit. Why's everyone and their mother been pissing in my ear today, huh? Shit!
Does this mean you're ready to cooperate? May I enter the building?
Do whatever you want. If you think you can mess with the Clarksons, you got another thing coming.
Zach, it appears that the Clarksons have no idea where Galena is either. And judging from Danny's demeanor, the family must be in the midst of their own complications. This case may require more work than we think. Zach, Danny married into this family, didn't he? Yet he's acting like he's a full-blooded Clarkson. I'm surprised, really. That was the most unexpected aspect of our encounter. After all, he's only the son-in-law. What do you think, Zach? This is it, Zach. A deadly premonition. You know, for some reason I'm getting butterflies. How about you? It's time we went and saw this other world for ourselves. Zach, the countryside is always so entertaining. It has far more stimuli to offer than the big city. Those movies from the 80s were all predicting the future. Life's simpler than what philosophers make it out to be. In the end, truth and reality are never one and the same. Now we have nothing to fear, right? Zach, I sense something here. Lise was murdered here. Let's take a closer look and find out exactly what went on. Zach, there's a tall woman here. Very stylish. She'd stick out like a sore thumb in this town. Is she watching the murder? No. She's clearly more than an innocent spectator. She must be deeply entwined with this case somehow.
More. I want more.
Okay, sweetie. We're gonna play a fun game now.
Zach, the murder weapon was an axe. Lise must have been dismembered while she was still alive. And the woman holding the axe, flashy clothes, beautiful face, and that dragonfly ring, this must be Lisa's mother, Galena Clarkson. Look, Zach, she's crying. It's the polar opposite of Lisa's euphoric expression. Galena is brandishing an axe while tears stream down her face. What was going on in her head?
Wow, it's amazing. I can feel it. I'm getting prettier.
Zach, Lisa's limbs were severed while she was still alive. But she's smiling. She must not have been able to feel any pain. Sang Rouge isn't that powerful of a drug. At least it shouldn't be. And look, Zach, another dragonfly. The tattoo is just to the side of her navel. She always carried the mark of a Clarkson with her, wherever she went.
Okay, let's get started. This is gonna be so fun. Remember how you used to play with dolls when you were a baby, honey?
Yay! I love dolls. Dolly, dolly, dolly.
Red powder. This must be Sang Rouge. But for some reason, it looks more vibrant than all the specimens we've gathered so far.
Lise, you're so beautiful.
Really? Yay! I'm a little dolly. I'm a little dolly.
That's it, Lise. It'll all start from you. Now you'll never die. You'll be eternal. Just wait for me, Lise. I'll be with you soon. I'll always be with you.
Dolly, dolly, dolly.
Lise Clarkson was murdered here. After she died, she was carried to the spot underneath that bridge. Why did the killer feel the need to move her? Bodies are usually only moved to cover up evidence. But this is different. Lisa's body was enshrined. She was being shown off to someone. The ritual, the altar. A mother killing her child, a monstrous giant, and a mysterious, stylish woman. There's a real demon out there, and it's got its sights set on the Clarksons. But Zach, this is exactly the kind of case we FBI agents are here to solve. Isn't that right?
Did it. I really did it. I finally completed the first ritual. Now the plan will begin. The Red One's plan will begin.
Zach, this case is going to be a labyrinth. I certainly didn't expect to run into a monster like this. Honestly, I'm not one for violence, but I'm not just going to stand here and die. What do you think? Should we read off her rights?
Now, it's the Red One's turn. The Red One. Soon. And in the end, we'll be together. Together. Red. Oh, see, it's red. Oh, yeah. I killed Lise. I did just as I was told. I killed her. So pure, adorable, and beautiful. I killed my own baby. Lise, you son of a bitch! What did you do to my daughter? You're really pissing me off. I'm invincible now. Holy red seeds protect me. So then why? What are you? No, it can't be. You came here to stop our plan? You can't stop us now. We We already made our sacrifice. You don't know how much we sacrificed. How many tears of blood we cried. All for the Red One's plan. We've come so far. The Red One gave me the honor of lighting the flame. I'm not gonna let you stop me here!
Felina, is this your true form? Gosh, Hollywood would have been all over you. Although you probably would have been typecast as a gross monster. The kind that heroes always kill.
We're going to make a new world! And no one's going to stop us! Snap the tendons! Mutilate your meat! Snap the tendons! Why? Why? Feel my pain! No! This can't be happening! How? Snap the tendons! Mutilate your meat! Impossible! This is impossible! Red 3! This, our new world, my Lise, my sweet little dolly.
Galena Clarkson? You are now under arrest on suspicion of the murder of Lise Clarkson and the illegal disposal of her corpse. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say may be used against you in a court of law. That's enough, Zach. She can't hear us anymore. Zach, pardon my language, but this case can go fuck itself.
I owe you one, Mr. York. I'm awful sorry you had to get all caught up in our town's dirty laundry. I didn't expect you to catch the criminal this soon, though. You never fail to impress me. Come on, CLG. Let's head back to the office. Mr. York and I both got a lot of cleanup work to take care of. Now I just gotta figure out what I'm gonna tell the Clarksons. That's my biggest problem.
Melvin, this investigation has only just begun.
What? But we got the killer.
This case is much more complicated than it seems.
You mean you're gonna keep searching the town?
Of course. At the moment, I'm after a tall, stylish woman. Does that ring any bells?
Stylish? You lost me. What's that got to do with anything?
Zach and I saw her with our own eyes. We need to find her, I'm positive.
You're probably talking about Professor R.
Professor R? From the jazz bar?
Yeah. I mean, she's the only person in town you could call stylish. She's tall, too.
But...
What is it, Melvin?
Well...
Well? Out with it. Don't let your 10-year-old daughter upstage you here, Sheriff.
You're looking for a stylish woman, right?
Yes, we've established that.
Then I think you're barking up the wrong tree with Professor R. She isn't exactly a normal woman, if you catch my drift.
I hear you loud and clear. Melvin, you're careless in every sense of the word, but I believe you operate on the side of good in most cases. With that in mind, I'm disappointed to see that you carry some prejudice with you.
But I,
Is she the type to forbid customers from entering her jazz bar due to the color of their skin?
No, she ain't like that.
Well then, case closed. Melvin, I think we should call it a day. I'm going to head back to my hotel and get some sleep. I also need to prepare a report to send back to the Bureau. Patty, thank you very much for assisting me in my investigation. I'll be counting on you again tomorrow.
I just helped an FBI agent.
Oh, and Melvin, one more thing. You needn't worry about what to tell the Clarksons. I'm sure they already know that Galena's been arrested. After all, this is Lucare.
Hey there, Mr. York. Look.
This town sure is peaceful, Zach. Yes, I know. I know what you're about to say. But that's why we're here. To protect this peace. Isn't that right, Zach?
Hiya, boss. How can I be of service? And that's what you can't get. So make sure. Thanks, miss. Next time you get...
Zach, let's go over our progress. We've got a complicated case on our hands this time, especially as far as the Clarksons' relationships go. But in a way, it's also a simple one. Understanding them on a deeper level is the most efficient way to uncover the truth behind all this. That's the one thing I'm sure of. Zach, let's start with the people who were closest to the victim. Lise Clarkson, the victim, is the granddaughter of the current head of the Clarkson family. Her mother is Galena, an ex-actress, and Lise clearly inherited her beauty. Except for her eyes, that is. Lisa's eye color matches that of her father's. Now, do you remember who Lise Clarkson's father is? That's right. Lisa's father is Danny Clarkson. His real name is Daniel E. Clarkson. He's from Florida and used to be the CEO of a talent agency. Danny struck the heart of Galena and successfully became a member of the esteemed Clarkson family. Despite being the son-in-law, he acts like he was born a Clarkson, but he's still just the son-in-law. Next comes what happened to Lise. According to Alexis, Lise said that the man was as tall as an oak tree. I believe that's the same 10-foot-tall giant who made the fingerprints we found in the cold storage warehouse. Now, what did this man do to Lise prior to her murder? Yes, that's it, Zach. The man as tall as an oak tree followed Lise around and watched her. Despite his towering stature, he must have been rather shy. Or perhaps he was merely biding his time and planned to kidnap her from the very start. If that's the case, there should have been some evidence left at the scene of the crime. Zach, we're still missing some puzzle pieces. Speaking of the scene of the crime, I did some profiling in the plantation's control room. The truth it revealed to us was nauseating and horrific. But we need to touch upon it if we wish to proceed. Isn't that right, Zach? Who actually murdered Lise Clarkson? Yes, that's right. Lisa's own mother killed her, while she was dreaming about some bizarre new world. This is by far the vilest and ugliest crime we've ever seen. The fact that Galena set up her daughter's body at an altar makes this case even more complicated. Remember, not a single sacrificial human murder has ever been proven and documented in all of American history. The real world is far more complex than what we see in films and video games, and sacrificing a human life for something else is no easy task. In conclusion, Zach, through our investigation, we found one character who sticks out more than anyone else. You know exactly who I'm thinking about, don't you? We'll need to have a word with her in the near future. Who's the stylish woman we saw during the profiling? Professor R. We haven't met her yet, but she's deeply intertwined with this case. Let's wait for the skeletal gentleman to guide us to her with an oracle. Well, Zach, what do you think? Isn't the Deep South something? The people here are just as warm as the weather, and the food is to die for. Might be nice to move down here after I retire. What, still too early to talk about that? You may be right. After all, this case has only just begun.
Galena can't be the killer. They're making all this shit up.
If what you say is true, Daniel, how do you plan to prove it? It's nearly been a century since the Clarksons first took control of Lucari. 100 years. I always thought my legacy would live on for 300 at least.
I'm gonna find the real killer and beat the living dog shit out of him.
Yet it looks to me like times have changed. We ain't in the good old days no more. You understand me, boy.
Yes, sir. I'm right there with you, Paul. I'm gonna continue what you started, sir, and make the Clarkson family strong again. But first, I need to find whoever really killed Lise and bash their fucking brains in.
I saw this coming. Ever since the day Lenny left home, the town of Lucari has been cursed. We can't stop what's happening now. It's too late. It's beyond me. No. It's beyond the minds of anyone who comes from the olden days. You understand me now, boy?
Yes, sir. Believe me, I do. I'll kill him. Just leave everything to me, Paul.
Are you serious about this?
Yes, sir. Right hand of God. Look right in my eyes. I ain't lying. I'm serious. I just need you to lend me some troops, sir. We need retribution right now. That's the job I've been given, and I intend to do it.
Well then, let me ask you one more time. Are you serious about this?
Yeah. Hell yeah. I'm a Clarkson, and all Clarksons have a job to do. Isn't that what we always say?
Mm-hmm. Then I'll need an arm.
Yeah. What?
Well now, you want to use my troops, I'm gonna need to know whether or not you're really serious about this. Just one arm. Slide it on through that wire there, and it'll take care of it for you.
Paul, I mean, you're joking, right?
Daniel, have I ever told you a single joke?
No, but...
If you want to become a real Clarkson, then you done got yourself a job to do.
Wait, Paul, I get it now. You want me to stick it in and pull it out at the last minute, right? You want to see if I got guts or not, but there's gonna be another way. You can't be serious, sir. Hey, knock it off, you assholes! Let me go! He's just joking with me. Let me go, goddammit! Oh, please, sir, don't do this! Just tell me this is a joke, please!
I am a Clarkson. And no matter how our fortune falls, all Clarksons have a job to do. That be the law of this land.
York, you can hear me, right? I'll be with you soon. I'm not sad. Honestly, I can't wait. It's all I think about lately. I mean, we'll be together again. We'll get to discuss movies, food again. Everyone around here has bad taste. They don't understand things the way we do. It's a shitty world filled with shitty people. Oh, that reminds me. There are movie theaters and restaurants over there, right? As soon as I get there, let's go grab some peanut butter hamburgers and yogurt smoothies. I'm so excited, York. Please, York, don't rush me. You just need to wait a bit longer. I still have one job left to do. I need to finish it. I have to. Or else I'd never be able to face you. Just give me a little more time, okay?
So, Lisa's mother, Galena Clarkson, confessed to murdering Lise. But then immediately afterwards, she went insane. So you had no choice but to detain her. What a terribly convenient story. You were the first person to find the suspect hiding at a farm on the edge of town. And you even got her to confess to the crime, right then and there. Did anyone else get a chance to hear Galina's confession?
Only us.
How did you even find that shack in the first place?
Metaphysical offender profiling.
Meta what? Should I know this word?
Metaphysical offender profiling. The term appears 6 times in the Le Carré report and 14 times in the 2010 Greenvale report. As long as you're solving cases, the people in charge don't really care what sort of words you use. But we're different. You utilized a highly abnormal method to instantly hone in on a suspect. Then you did it again and again. And every time you used it, one term kept appearing in your files. Metaphysical offender profiling. Mr. Morgan, would you mind explaining to us what this term means?
We could try. But no matter what words we used, you'd never be able to understand. You see, it doesn't pertain to this side. Come, my fairy. Stop hiding back there and give them the explanation they so desire. What? You're too shy?
Mr. Morgan? Mr. Morgan!
Come on out. Don't be afraid.
Is that all you have to say? Don't underestimate me, Morgan. I know you and the Clarksons share a deeper connection. Much deeper than how it appears on the surface. I need to shake him with something else that's directly connected to the Clarksons. I'm gonna jog his memory by force. Those letters look very old. The postmark suggests they were sent out from Louisiana. And I suspect that dragonfly mark belongs to the Clarkson family.
Maybe. So what if it does?
A stalker has been harassing Patricia Clarkson for several years now. Did you know about this? Constant silent phone calls, unmarked letters. She also spotted a suspicious figure lurking near her mansion several times. And just last week, her employees spotted a strange figure lurking in the vicinity. The day someone else coincidentally used your alias and traveled to Louisiana.
That's very intriguing. Aligned symbolism.
Lise Clarkson also reported being harassed by a stalker just before she was murdered. You're aware of this, correct? Because I didn't find any mention of this in your report.
No direct connection to the case. That's what we must have thought.
The visionary lies to himself, the liar only to others. Which are you?
That's enough for now. This all has nothing to do with the case. Besides, there's no evidence that proves those letters are from her. Isn't that right, my fairy?
Mr. Morgan, I noticed that several parts of this report have been redacted. For example, here, one individual's name has been erased from the key figure list. Would you mind telling me why?
Someone in charge must have thought it was unimportant, or maybe even inappropriate.
Why would they think that?
How should we know? We've never understood what those people do.
Well, I took the liberty of trying to restore what was taken out. Normal ink was used to blot it out, so I was able to recover part of it. Here's what it says. Sapling salesman. All the other redacted parts seem to be connected to this person, but I can't think of a single reason why this individual would need to be removed from the report. Why is he so untouchable?
Oh, him. He's nothing. We were barking up the wrong tree.
Meaning?
Can't include someone who doesn't exist in an official report, now can we?
Doesn't exist? You mean he had nothing to do with the case?
Yeah, you could say that.
Mr. Morgan, according to you, at the beginning of this case, the victim's body was being stored in the warehouse on purpose. Is that the truth? They really put her body there alongside food and other perishables?
It's in the report.
No. The report only says it was stored using the most effective and shockingly inhuman method possible.
If you can think of a better phrase, we're all ears.
The report isn't wrong, you know. In fact, that might actually be the most accurate way of describing it. It's precise, and it's also kinda poetic, you know?
Wow, Simon. We never would have taken you for a poet.
Right?
You two think this is a joke? Lise Clarkson's body was discovered in that cold storage warehouse after 14 long years. If you'd only done a proper investigation, we probably would have found her much sooner. That poor girl.
We still regret the fact that we never got to meet her. We're sorry, from the bottoms of our hearts.
I only hope it didn't happen that way by design.
Will you comfort me? Thank you, my fairy.
I knew it wouldn't go that easily. Maybe I should try asking my questions in a different way. I could use Agent Jones here. This is a nice building. Layout isn't bad either. Whew. Must be rather expensive to rent a place like this in Boston. How many other rooms are there in this apartment? That room over there, your bedroom?
Huh. Why so curious, Belle? It almost sounds as if you're seeing this place for the first time. Aside from the hardware shop on the first floor, every apartment in this building has the exact same layout. We're well aware that you studied the layout of this apartment before you came to see us. There's no need to act so roundabout. Just be honest. Say it. I want to see your bedroom.
Well then?
Doesn't mean we'll let you see it, though.
Agent Jones. Are you paying attention? Or do you intend to waste Mr. Morgan's precious time?
No. Sorry. I'm just a little tired. I'm listening.
Take your hand out of your pocket. Didn't they teach you any manners at Quantico?
Oh, right. Guess they slipped my mind. My bad. I'm actually kinda nervous. I'm not used to this sort of thing. Data analysis is my specialty, you know. I'm sure I'd be able to calm down a bit if I had some pizza, though.
The FBI needs to do something about their lack of personnel. I'll have to ask the questions myself. But how should I start? Maybe I should look back over the files and calmly reassess the situation. After you arrested Galena Clarkson, you had a run-in with the Clarksons. At least that's what it says in the report. What exactly happened there?
Just a simple run-in, that's all. Nothing but a single phenomenon. Chasing hollow instances like that won't lead you closer to the truth. Truth doesn't work like that.
A hollow phenomenon, which resulted in a mountain of corpses.
Oh, Belle. We think we finally understand what you're trying to say. But don't be so voracious. How about another cup of coffee? We've still got a long way to go, you know. Yes, it's coarsely ground, so there should only be 4 teaspoons per cup. No more, no less. Next, the coffee travels from the funnel to the siphon. Simon, normally you only do surveillance in order to gather data, correct? Hiding microphones and cameras, sifting through garbage, wiretapping, shadowing, tracing credit card histories. You'll do whatever it takes to gather data in order to prevent crimes. That's how the FBI works.
Well, yeah, you're right. No reason in hiding it now, I guess. Why do you ask?
Our Southern Belle has adopted a very peculiar MO. It's almost like she has a special power, just like us. You've been watching us this entire time, haven't you, Belle? From that window.
I don't need to answer that question.
You came here on New Year's Eve, then spent 49 hours watching us until you returned to your hotel room last night. You observed us the entire time without sleep or rest. And you only ate once, some pizza delivered by Simon. Aside from that, you never drank any water or relieved yourself. You simply sat there and continued to watch us. You have visions, too, don't you? You came here solely to hear us talk, didn't you? But then, why bother watching us for over 2 days beforehand? You didn't come to talk with us. You came because you wanted to see this apartment with your own eyes. And because you're already convinced of something. Isn't that right? He who fights with monsters should see to it that he himself does not become a monster. And if you gaze long into an abyss, the abyss also gazes into you.
But
Oh, coffee. Thank you, my fairy. If you hadn't been paying attention, this coffee would have all gone to waste. The pus in our brains. It really has a way of interfering with our lives. Didn't remember.
Oh. What the Christ? This is friggin' delicious. I thought I was gonna shit myself for a second there. Come on, Aaliyah, take a sip. Trust me. I'm not exaggerating here.
I don't believe it. It's better than any coffee I've ever tasted.
Of course it is. Coffee is a sacred drink. Coffee saved us. If not for its oracle, we would be on the other side right now. So I never forget to pay my respects to coffee. especially at critical moments like this.
Big black cumulonimbus clouds are in the sky. And that sound. Thunder snow is coming. Why would an agent as skilled as you close the Lise Clarkson case without locating her body?
Good question. Maybe we just weren't as skilled as you think back then. Isn't that right, my fairy?
You reported the body as being stolen. Was that truly the case?
Meaning?
Meaning there's a possibility that the body wasn't stolen, but purposefully moved instead. Maybe someone ordered someone else to get rid of the body, or even store it in a specific place.
But who? And for what purpose?
In order to use the body for something else. You never considered that? Perhaps there's some connection between the frozen body and the fact that Sang Rouge is still being produced.
Hey, Aaliyah, how about explaining yourself clearly so that even I can follow along?
Someone extracted the ingredients to Sang Rouge from Lise Clarkson's body. That's what you're trying to say, isn't it, Belle?
So that they could go on producing the inimitable drug without Professor R.
What?
Drug addiction destroys people, physically and mentally. It makes them capable of doing anything just so they can get their hands on a fix. Abusing a corpse? That's nothing to an addict. And with your dependency, I suspect you might know just what that's like.
Maybe we do. If you threaten to take this away from us, I might have to kill you both right here and steal all your $100 bills. Oh, spine-tingling, scary stuff, isn't it, my fairy?
You sure got a twisted sense of humor there, Morgan.
Do you hear that thunder? It's probably gonna snow soon.
We're in Massachusetts. That's the norm for this time of year.
Well, I'm not used to the cold. If possible, I'd like to finish this up before we get stuck in a snowstorm. Agent Jones, after we're done here, Agent Jones, is something the matter? Snap out of it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I know.
Do you? Then stop daydreaming.
Okay.
You just what?
My stomach's been letting some thunder loose, too.
Thunder?
That coffee was just so good,
It what? We don't have all day here.
The coffee was just so good, it, summoned forth a massive tsunami from within me.
Excuse me? What is wrong with you? Now is really not the time for this.
Right door at the end of the hallway.
Thanks, pal. Hold on.
We promise you, we did not put laxatives in the coffee. Coffee is a sacred drink, remember?
Motherfucker. There's no doubt that the report omitted information linking Morgan to the Clarksons. I need to get him to confess. Oh yeah. That reminds me. There's a secret weapon in Agent Jones's briefcase. Have you ever seen this before? And please, don't say no.
Sang Rouge, the drug we once chased. What about it?
Sang Rouge is still circulating. It's changed shape and its composition is slightly different now. But it's still very much alive. But only in a very limited part of Louisiana. You aren't surprised? Did you somehow know this would happen?
Copies of another drug being circulated isn't exactly a rare case.
But Sang Rouge is special. The inimitable Enigma powder. The origin. It has many names, and no one was ever able to copy it. We've also been trying to figure out what it's made from ever since it appeared. But it's impossible to analyze. After all, it appears to be made from common ingredients that can be found anywhere. But if you try to use those ingredients, all you'll end up with is a mundane hallucinogen like DMT. If you're lucky. No. Sang Rouge requires a special recipe. The original recipe, which someone's been guarding this entire time. Someone who survived the incident in Le Carré. Immediately after they found Lisa's body, I went to go see Patricia. In order to interrogate her, of course.
So you told us.
But I was unable to meet with her.
She refused to speak with you, didn't she? That's so like her.
No, she didn't get the chance to. You see, she's gone missing.
What?
To put it more accurately, no one's seen her since the afternoon of the 28th. According to her employees, she shut herself up in her room for several months before she disappeared. But since that sort of thing happened often, they didn't think anything of it. On the morning of New Year's Eve, they noticed her window was open, and when they went up to check on her, she was gone. But no one knows how long her window had been open for. This is just my hypothesis, but on December 28th, a strange man visited Le Carré and was spotted near her mansion. That man must have found some way to lure Patricia into his car, the '89 Cadillac that he bought used. Then, the two of them drove north to Trenton, where they boarded a train to Boston. They would have arrived here around midnight on the 29th, or perhaps early morning on the 30th. I believe this man is the same Billy Bishop whose name was previously recorded by the airline. So, what do you think of my guess? I'd love to hear your opinion as a former FBI special agent.
Now we get it. We aren't persons of interest. We're the suspects. But what about our alibi?
What alibi?
I've had enough of your bullshit. You expect me to believe you haven't taken a single step out of this room? That Agent Jones is your witness? Surveillance cameras can easily be tampered with, especially by someone like you, who knows all about how the FBI works.
You're possessed by death. Go and take a look at your own face in the mirror. You look like the Grim Reaper. After you visited both Le Carré and Greenvale, you left a mountain of corpses in your wake. You can make all the excuses you want. I'm immune to them. Right here, right now, I want to know everything. You tell me the truth.
Yes! You're good, Belle. Damn good. You're brimming with potential. Don't you think she's the perfect partner for our last dance? What do you say, my fairy? Don't you agree? She's good. So good. What do you want to know? We've got nothing to hide. Go on. Question us. This is how it's got to be. Doesn't this remind you of something? You know what I mean, my fairy.
of a... How did this happen in my town? God damn it!
The head and limbs were severed and lined up, according to the lines that were drawn with her blood. Just like migratory birds flying systematically across the sky. Hey, Zach, what do you think this means?
They're severed roots.
Severed roots?
This is the way the Clarksons kill someone when they want to cut him off from the family.
And how do you know about this?
Everyone in town knows about it. They're just too scared to talk.
What does the V stand for, then?
Beats me. What, you think I know everything now?
Vilitatio. It means quarrel in Latin. That's what the V stands for.
Latin. Intriguing, isn't it, Zach? There are no defense wounds on the corpse. In other words, Galena showed no signs of resistance when she was amputated. But, strangely enough, there are small traces of subcutaneous bleeding around the wounded areas. That's a vital reaction, which means she couldn't have been dead.
You mean...
Yes, that's right, Patty. Galena was amputated while she was still alive, and she never resisted.
Is that even possible?
It certainly isn't impossible. For example, if she was put to sleep with a drug, or if she desired the amputation herself.
Why would she ever desire that?
Mr. York, I'm sorry, but there ain't no way that could have happened.
How can you be sure of that, Melvin? Our world contains phenomena that could never be explained with logic. This is especially true for phenomena in which humans are involved. Do you really think all the facets of love and hate can be explained with logic?
Well, no, I don't reckon I do. Yeah, might be too early to rule out those possibilities, just like you say.
Zach, now we truly know just how deeply the Clarksons are involved with this. Patty, how long does it take to reach the Clarkson estate?
Just a short drive. You just gotta head west along the Mississippi. You can't miss it.
Got it. Thank you, Patty. By the way, Melvin, no matter how accelerated Patty may be, don't you think she's still a bit too young to see something like this? For the record, I have no intent to instruct others on how to raise their children, but...
Holy moly, you're right! Patricia, CLG! Come on, sweetie. Kids shouldn't have to see stuff like this.
Daddy, it's too late now.
You found the flying serpent. But now, the flying serpent will come to find you.
Yeah, that sounds right. And it looks like this flying serpent is a venomous one.
Some become feasts, while others are eaten alive. Which fate would you prefer?
Both sound marvelous, but let me check with Zach.
A fine answer. Find the one who fired the pistol at heaven. within the white hall of beds, brandish the ticket to the goddess. And once again, you will see the other world. Do you comprehend the oracle?
Zack, it looks like he's hell-bent on leading us back into that other world.
Follow the oracle.
Oh, I will, Hoongan. There are only two types of things in our world. Things that should be resisted and things that should be accepted. And I believe this oracle is something to accept. Do you think we're crazy for believing everything that skeletal gentleman says? No, we're not crazy. Not one bit. This is our destiny, that's all. But I shouldn't need to explain that to you, Zack. The one who fired the pistol at heaven. Firing pistols at the sky might be a rather common occurrence for the South. Remember? Young Guns. 19... Bingo, Zack. We're currently running a race here, and the one who started this murder investigation is indeed the one who fired the pistol at heaven. In other words, the person who first discovered the body. According to the files, Lisa's body was discovered by Chuck Thompson, a crawfish farmer. He apparently works out of a fishing hut located in the marshes south of the bayou. Let's go pay him a visit. Who knows? We might even get to see some crawfish. What? Why isn't the murderer the one who started this race? Zack, this isn't like you. Of course the murderer isn't the one who started the race. The murderer's running it. They're currently in first place, and they're breaking all the rules. Any more objections, Zack? Within the White Hall of Beds. This one is even easier. There are only a few establishments that have a whole hall's worth of beds. Especially in a small town like this. I'm sure you've already got a pretty good idea about what the answer is, Zack. Beds all lined up. Only an amateur would hear that and think it must be referring to a brothel. You never disappoint me, Zack. It's a medical facility. They invite their patients into rooms full of beds where they're tended to by doctors and nurses clad in white. It's definitely a white hall, where people are invited into beds. You always manage to impress me with your intuition. I'm really counting on you here, Zack. And I know I'll always be able to.
Agent York, you're trying to leave without your trustworthy assistant?
Hello there, Patty. I'd never attempt such a thing. I was simply engaging in a battle of wits with Hoongan while I waited for you.
Hoongan?
Yes, the skeletal gentleman in the top hat.
Not that story again. Is this how you always conduct your investigations?
This is the way I work.
I bet you can't find a single partner, not even in the entire FBI.
That's not true. I always work together with Zack.
Oh, right. Zack. Don't worry. I'll be your partner while you're here in our town. Now, let's go investigate.
Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on GBHBL.com as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Tumblr. Go to Patreon to help us out over there. That's patreon.com/GBHBL, as well as Big Cartel, where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you like this video, do us a favour, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?